Hey everyone, your favorite Gallivanter coming to you from the land of relentless sunshine, overpriced parking, and marketing promises that are just bold enough to be dangerous. Today we're talking about the Orlando Eye at Icon Park, a place that wants to so desperately be London, it built itself a giant wheel, plunked it down in the middle of flat, featureless Florida, and called it an attraction. Abby and I have been to Icon Park many times before. We've eaten, we've wandered, but somehow, until now, we had never taken the plunge onto the eye itself. So come along, because today we paid, we rode, and now we judge. Let's start with ticketing, because this is where the eye starts separating the naive from the informed. Online is the move here. General admission varies by day and time. If you pay at the gate, you might have to shell out $35 or more. Tickets are cheaper in advance online. You just might almost have enough savings to buy a churro at Universal. I said almost. They've gone up too. Florida residents, you get a little extra love. If you book online and show proof of residence, it'll knock it down to just under $30. Still not free, but in this economy, a discount is a discount. You can also bundle the eye with Icon's other big attractions like Sea Life Aquarium or Madame Tussauds and save a few more bucks. Basically, the more desperate you are to kill time, the cheaper each attraction becomes. But beware, when you book online, you must select a specific time slot for your ride or attraction. Pro tip, if you've booked a time ticket but show up early, and you will because Florida traffic paranoia runs deep here, the wheelhouse is your holding pen. Wander, shop, medicate with sugar, meditate with alcohol, maybe even take bets with your traveling companion on how many minutes the wheel will actually spin before someone mentions Walt Disney. And yes, someone will inevitably mention Disney. The wheelhouse is bright, aggressively air-conditioned, and decorated with enough neon, chrome, and canned pop music to remind you this is not London. Think of it as your emotional support mall. Boarding the eye is mercifully simple. You're herded onto your capsule, a sleek, fully enclosed glass pod that looks like it was designed by the same team that builds airport shuttle trains. Each capsule can hold up to 15 people, but if you're lucky, like we were, you might get one all to yourselves. No screaming kids, no TikTok influencers, just you, your significant other, and your questionable life choices. Inside, air conditioning benches, speakers playing soft background music, and wait for it, a narrated guide to Orlando's skyline. It's charming in the same way a book report by a fifth grader is charming. The narration desperately tries to make you care about the amazing view of Interstate 4. The ride on the eye takes about 20 minutes start to finish. That's 20 minutes of slowly, painfully slow, rotating one full circle. Now, let's talk about what you see. And spoiler alert, Orlando is flat. And for large swaths of the ride, your view will consist of parking lots, chain restaurants, hotel roofs. It's not exactly the Thames and Big Ben. That said, and this is important, if you know where to look, there are some highlights. You can spot the downtown Orlando skyline, you can spy on Universal's parks, and as of this year, you get a sweeping bird's eye view of Epic Universe, Universal's newest mega resort, which is already making the attractions along I Drive look like a roadside carnival. The narration does a passable job of pointing these sites out, but frankly, you'll have more fun if you make up your own commentary. Abby and I spent half the ride pretending we were real estate agents, pitching the many visible gas stations to imaginary clients. Florida, where Sunshine State is more of an aspiration than a reality after 3 p.m. during the rainy season. If bad weather rolls in, the Orlando Eye doesn't just play it fast and loose. They actually have a full lightning tracking system in place. If a storm moves into the area, loading immediately stops, and any riders already in capsules are slowly cycled off. No panic, no dangling in the air like a sad piñata. Turnstiles lock down, operations halt. The wheel basically throws up a giant closed for business sign until the skies decide to behave. And if you physically can't, maybe you were only in Orlando for 2 days before moving on to better, less thunderous pastures, you can email guest services with your confirmation number and request a refund. And based on the friendliness of the staff we met, they seemed to actually honor it, which in the world of theme park refunds might as well be considered a minor miracle. Moral of the story, check the radar, schedule your ride early in the day if you can, and maybe keep a backup plan for your backup plan. Here's a little history while we spin. The Orlando Eye officially opened its doors and its capsules in May 2015, not without drama. Construction delays, technical problems, missed deadlines. If you've ever tried building IKEA furniture while blindfolded, you understand the struggle. At launch, it was simply the Orlando Eye, no corporate sugar water sponsorship yet. That came a year later, in 2016, when Coca-Cola slapped its brand all over the attraction in an effort to make it fizz with tourists. It worked briefly. Then came the era of rebranding, because what do you do when people aren't buying in? You rename it. In 2018, it rebranded to Icon Orlando and then again to the Wheel at Icon Park because apparently corporate America believes the problem with underwhelming attractions is always the branding, not the product. So, should you ride the Orlando Eye? If you're a Florida resident, absolutely, one time. It's a rite of passage, like surviving your first sunburn at Clearwater Beach or your first afternoon thunderstorm that dumps 3 inches of rain in 10 minutes. You're not doing it because it will change your life, you're doing it because it's there, spinning endlessly, shamelessly in the Florida heat, begging you to give it a shot. If you're a visitor and you've conquered every castle, roller coaster, and butterbeer stand the city can throw at you, then yes, it's a nice palate cleanser. A moment to slow down, to float above it all literally and metaphorically for 20 quiet minutes. But let's be clear, the Eye is a snapshot of Orlando itself. Ambitious, commercialized, a little ridiculous, but somehow still likable if you meet it with the right expectations. You're not gazing down on centuries of human history here. You're looking at parking lots and theme park sprawl, and yet, in its own way, that's the perfect symbol of what the city is about. Dreaming big, even when the canvas is small. You don't ride the Eye to see something grand, you ride it to remember that sometimes ambition itself, spinning stubbornly against all odds, is worth admiring. Thank you so much for gallivanting with us. Be good to yourself.